Today is the ninth. The ninth day. Kaylin shrugged. She doesn't know what day it is either. That's cool. I'm pretty sure it's the ninth. Let's see. Hang on. Today's the ninth. Today's the ninth. The ninth is it's called a STAP, which is a little thing for the battle droid to ride. They rode them around in Phantom Menace. It was a very neat little vehicle, like a little speeder type thing. This one doesn't have a little foot pegs for his feet, so he's just gonna, he's a STAP stunt rider, I guess. That's what he's doing now. Now we're gonna start getting into some prequel figures. And the prequel era of Star Wars is probably my favorite era as far as Star Wars toys go. It was just each movie they tried something different. Like Episode 1, it was all about the appeal of new Star Wars period, but also they had the little Comtech chips, the little talkie chips, which I haven't really focused on. I have one, I'll show later. Episode 2, they tried different kind of action features. Like a lot of the figures had magnets in their hands, and then they had metal lightsabers, so they could like force pull the lightsabers to their hands. It worked sometimes, but it was a cool idea. And then, like squeeze your legs and swing your arm type stuff, or just like lightning effects, which this one today has a lightning effect. This is a figure that is very special to me. Basically, how a couple days ago I said that at the time there were only so many topics you could talk about with Star Wars, because Star Wars was a little bit more limited. And by a little bit more, I mean just a little bit more, because really there was still a whole lot. But you would talk about everything, like if you could find someone to listen. For instance, one of the conversations I remember having with my sister after The Phantom Menace was that I think it would be hilarious, considering that Jar Jar was technically the one that brought these two worlds together. Like, he is, like it or not, he is an ambassador between the Naboo and the Gungans. If he was a senator or something like that in Episode 2, that would just be so funny. It would make sense, but it would also be funny. And so whenever we found out that he was indeed going to be a representative in the Senate, he's not an actual senator, but he's a representative in the Senate in Episode 2, I was like, that's hilarious. That's awesome. I'm so glad they're doing that. I can't wait to get that figure. Because, of course, there would be a figure. There's figures of everything. So this was a few months after I got the FX7 figure from yesterday from my dad whenever I was going off to college. I didn't get a lot of toys my first semester in college because I was in college and I didn't have the resources to get them, i.e. money or transportation, more so the transportation part. But I did find a couple random ones that leaked early. Whenever I went back home for my birthday, like 4 random Star Wars figures that leaked early. There were a random Jedi, I think. I can't remember which 4 they all were, but they weren't like anybody like where you're like, I'm excited to get these. It was just cool Jedi. But then whenever I finally got home from my first semester in college, my sister was like, I have a surprise for you. And she pulled out this wonderful little dude, which is Senator Jar Jar. Gungan Representative Jar Jar. Senator Jar Jar. And as you can see, he has a little electro staff, which he totally used, I swear, with a blue electro bolts thing on it, which totally happens. Doesn't happen. And he's also like dynamically posed like he's going into battle, which they did with a lot of the Episode 2 figures. They're very dynamically posed. But he never went into any kind of battle. But it's a very simple figure. It doesn't do a whole lot. But he is absolutely one of my favorite figures because I like that my sister remembered that. She remembered me saying how amusing that would be and how awesome that would be if that happened. And then it happened, and I was like, I hope they make a figure. And she clocked that, and surprise, she got me a figure. Pretty sure this isn't the only figure she's ever gotten me. It might be, but pretty sure it's not the only one. But it's the most important one, just because It's a Gungan Jar. It's Jar Jar Senator, and it was my sister that got me for it. So I said got me for it. That doesn't make sense. That got it for me. So yeah, don't really have much else to say about him. He looks weirder with his arms down. Check that out. That's not. This feels like whenever somebody in a movie, like whenever they're like, oh, act casual, act cool, and they have to like try to figure out how they normally would look. Try to. That's what he's doing. He's trying to be cool, and he forgot how to look normal. Jar Jar forgot how to look normal. For shame, Jar Jar. For shame. Okay, good night.